Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome in to round 5 of season 24 of the Racekraft Simulations V8 Veterans for the Split 2 action here this evening, brought to you by Infinity Broadcasting. We head into tonight's race out at Road America. It's cheese country, not too far away from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and all the pressure tonight is on those championship contenders. What's also on pressure tonight is the possibility of breaking a long-standing V8 Veterans win record across the seasons. When I've counted the stats since season 10, well, after season 10, start of season 11, up until now, we have never had 5 different race winners in the first 5 rounds. At the moment, we've got 4 from 4. Those include Trent Allen, Halil Cesar, Bruce Tannick, and Brad Doble as well. Are we going to get a 5th different winner here this evening at Road America? Only time will tell. And if history is meant to be made, then perhaps the track will decide that as well. I'm your commentator tonight, Hamish Munro, bringing you all the action through sight and sound. Alongside me, as always, is Brett Fisher. Brett, big night on the road for these drivers, of course. Pressure's on the line as well for the likes of Crisdale, Cesar, and Doble. They're our main 3 guys at the moment. They are the 3 front runners for this championship. We're at the halfway point, though. This is where the momentum can begin to swing in one driver's favour. We saw that happen last season with Matt Muggleton. Started to really swing his way. Then others started to kind of sneak their way in sort of towards the maybe the 3rd act of the season if we're in 4 parts. Tonight, though, I mean, if there's going to be a swing in someone's way, it's got to be someone amongst that top 10, especially if they can become that 5th different winner of the season.
He's going to be huge tonight here at Road America. I hope you've all got your best drinking pants on and your most comfortable seats and all sorts of stuff in the house tonight, because we are in for a hell of a race tonight. I think it's going to be a cracker. It could be a cracker with cheese, whatever cheese you like. I don't mind a bit of a Mersey Valley, aged cheddar, but you do you.
I like a brie or a blue cheese, if I'm honest with you. Get that with a bit of cabana or some salami, or maybe even some prosciutto if I want to go a bit more bougie. I don't mind a nice cured meat with my, some might say, decadent cheese choice off the charcuterie board. But no, but of course, Brett, I mean, this track, it's a difficult circuit. It's one that almost feels like 3 tracks in one. It's shaped very similarly to Sebring. I've referred to it before as Sebring, but with elevation changes. It's longer than Bathurst, and that reflects in the lap times as well. Roughly between a 2:09 to a 2:11 is on average the laps here this evening. As we trickle our way on down, though, not too far south of Green Bay, Wisconsin, and a little bit further north from Milwaukee as well, pretty much right across the big lake from Detroit Belle Isle. So we're actually directly across from there. But as we trickle our way on in, we get into the forest of cheese country here for Road America. Of course, 6.4 kilometers long, so it's only 200 meters or so longer than Bathurst. It is a dead central 4 miles, though. It was opened back in 1955 out in Elkhart Lake, if I can speak, Wisconsin. It all starts on the main straight, and as we run up towards turn 1, this is the first little danger zone of the whole circuit. Here this evening, Brett, where lap 1, turn 1. Yeah, in lap 1, turn 1, I recall back to my very first season of calling the Vets back in season 14. My first, one of the first races of the season, it might have been round 2 or round 3, was here at Road America. Cars came in flying in towards turn 1. One name especially was knocked to the very back of the field. In fact, went a lap down. That was Mark Houghton. He ended up coming back from a lap down and winning that race. Right here at this track, and one of the most spectacular comeback drives I've ever seen. But if we can make it through 1, we then ride through, in quotes, turn 2. It's a little kink on the road down the hill towards turn 3. Hard braking zone. This will probably be more of a danger zone later in the race as drivers are trying to jostle for position. Early on, though, there should be a little bit more patient through here. You want to try and get your exit perfected, though, because then down through the Moraine Sweep at 4, you're trying to set yourself up for a move down towards turn 5 in the hard braking zone at the bottom of the hill. Probably the most notable moment we've had in Split 2 at that corner over the years was Scott Perrin's spectacular rollover down the left-hand side of the track as the whole field was getting under brakes trying to make moves into that corner. I believe that was back in season 19 or season 20. It was only last year that happened. But if we can make it through 5, it's a bit of a wider run through 5. You can go wide and cut back on. Drivers are going to be careful, though, with those rejoins, Brett, because once you pass that white line, you're technically off the circuit, and if you rejoin and make contact before turn 6, there could be a penalty coming your way from the stewards.
Isn't it? Yeah, definitely. Isn't it interesting, though, the first, turn 1, downhill corner. Turn 3, downhill corner. Turn 5, downhill corner. Turn 6, up. 7, slightly down. And then turn 8, downhill.
Yeah, it's
got a common theme, doesn't it?
It's a real roller coaster ride of a circuit. I think the most notable thing about 6 is it's a blind corner. You come up the crest, and as you kind of crest over underneath the bridge, that's when you brake and turn into the corner. So you've kind of got to guess that no one's going to be there. You got to guess you've actually got to aim the car where it needs to be. It takes a lot of laps to get the muscle memory of how much you need to turn in, how much you need to brake, what gear you need to be in to make that corner stick.
Tricky corner.
It is indeed. If you can make it through 6, though, you then set yourself up at Harry Downs for 7, where not quite a passing opportunity, but then you can set yourself up down at turn 8, hard braking zone at the bottom of the hill, as you mentioned, though, Brett. But as the car gets lighter throughout the race, your brake point's going to get a lot closer to the corner. Drivers are going to have to be cautious of that when they come out of pit lane, that they reset their bias or they reset their brake markers so they're not braking too late into that corner, otherwise they could end up in the sand trap with those cold tyres. Then as we run around 9 and 10 for the carousel, just underneath the Speedville sign, this is a section here you're trying to build up as much pace as possible, trying to then carry that through the kink at 11 and then down through the forest of Kettle Bottoms. This is then when you can set yourself up for probably the best passing opportunity of the whole track, but it's also the most dangerous at turn 12 at Canada Corner. This is where we're going to see a lot of cars end up off track. It's very likely where we're going to see a lot of debris get dragged back on track as well from the gravel. So that could definitely cause issues, especially as you put the power down to get up through Thunder Valley. It's the non-numbered turn 13, and then the real turn 13 at Bill Mitchell Bend. So getting the power down is going to be important, avoiding ending up off track, avoiding the debris that will inevitably be dragged back on track. That's going to be the key at 12. As you run up, though, through 13 at Bill Mitchell Bend, you then get up to turn 14 as well, the final corner. Again, this is a corner where drivers can run wide. They go for late moves, late dives. Contacts made, they end up off the track, and more debris gets dragged on. And as you kind of come out the exit of that corner, Brett, getting that power down is a real struggle when there's debris because the rear end just wants to come out on you and you can end up in the tyre barrier on the right-hand side.
There seems to be a lot of cheese thrown around on these corners.
A lot of cheese.
A bit of debris here and the debris there.
Yep.
Yeah,
a bit of grated parmesan perhaps out of...
no, it was just debris.
Heard a theory that the gravel traps are not actually gravel traps. They're just the cheese offcuts from the cheese factories here. Tough pit lane entry as well. Tonight.
Yeah,
too.
it is. It is. I was just going to say too, coming through Bill Mitchell Bend, I do enjoy that section of track. Thunder Valley, Bill Mitchell Bend, up over the hill there. If you get that right, get on the power early, the car sort of slides sideways a little bit as you come over there. I love that. It's a really good section of track.
Yeah, it's and this kind of comes back to my point of it feels like 3 tracks in one. The main straight, 1, 2, 3, turn 4, turn 5. That feels like its own little circuit. Then you run up through 7, 8, 9. Oh, and then even turn 10 and 11. That feels like its own style of circuit, almost more elevated street circuit-esque. And then you run down through Kettle Bottoms through 12, 13, and 14. That almost gives the feeling of Road Atlanta or maybe even a Coda as well. Like, there's a lot of different elements about this place. It all comes together for 6.4 Ks, 14 turns, clockwise configuration. The long pit lane tonight could have a massive factor because drivers who get drive-throughs are going to be reaping the negatives of what it's like to just have to slowly peel through that pit lane this evening. They'll need to be careful of the pit lane entry. They'll definitely have to be careful of the pit lane exit, not coming out right in front of traffic, because as you exit, you have to try and merge to the left to then get the perfect turn in at turn 1. And if there's cars coming up your left-hand side, you've got to take caution and you've got to give way as well. As we get into the warm-up session here tonight, cars are already out on track, including Robert Crisdale, who I mentioned last week. If the most likely driver I thought coming into tonight to be our 5th different winner of the season is more than likely Robert Crisdale, who's in the hunt for the top 3 of the championship leading into tonight's race. He's had a couple of top 5s, quite a few top 10s as well, Brett. He's been very, very consistent. Last week he was on the podium at Portland. Can he go a bit better tonight and get the race win, do we think?
We'll find out after 31 laps.
Yep, 31 laps, 200 Ks of this place. I mean, it doesn't seem like a lot, does it? 31 laps, but it goes on forever.
No, it is.
Like, it really goes on forever.
It does go on forever, yeah. And I did see a lot of drivers, as you were saying before, sort of heading off as you watch these two guys go through the kink. Just running a little bit wide through the kink, especially on cold tyres. There was not a lot of grip. You know, if you didn't get that right there, you started to wander a little bit wide. But yeah, looking forward tonight. And hard to just as we say,
that's
already the action. There's plenty
in the pre-race was getting caught out at the last corner and getting loose.
And if you don't qualify all that well too, you know, you're going to have an uphill start, which is also another difficult thing to do in these cars. So uphill, try and get the car in a way without spinning your tyres.
Yeah, it's this, as I said, this track's got so many little elements about it which can throw you off ever so easily. And if anyone's made a mistake, it all of a sudden makes those elements a little bit more unpredictable. So again, imagine you're coming up here to turn 6, blind corner, you come round the corner and there's just a heap of gravel on the track. Where are you going to go? You know, it's a real tough balancing act around this place. It's a difficult circuit. It's probably one that I think is quite underrated, I think, amongst racing fans, or at least drivers in general, because you don't necessarily think of Road America as one of your first choices of US circuits. Probably the first choice everyone has in terms of road racing is probably Laguna Seca, Daytona Road Course, perhaps even Road Atlanta would be the more likely first choices for road courses. could probably take Daytona out if you're meaning just permanent road courses, but I think it is a great track and it can lead to some great racing. I think the biggest issue is the longer race format you have here. You get into the realm of the problem with Bathurst where the whole field begins to spread, and unless it's an endurance race where you're having to go for 6 to 12 hours, you never really get a chance to come back into it. So it's, this track, similarly to Bathurst, it suits either long form racing or really short form multiple races in one night, because it can keep the battles nice and close. So hopefully tonight, though, we still get some close battles all throughout the 200Ks across the 31 laps. Of course, 2 CPSs on offer tonight. It was a 50-litre starting fuel load with a 70-litre tank capacity. That allows them to get up to 93 litres into the tank at any one time. Around roughly the total fuel they needed to add tonight, Brett, I believe, was roughly 117 or 114 on litres, something like that.
Yeah, I was 114. 114 to add. I think lap 9 was our first pit stop around about there. And the get home was around about lap 14.
Yeah. And now if we see a safety car on lap 12, I wouldn't be surprised if we get drivers jumping in, because you can fuel save about a lap onto the safety car. So if you hope for maybe an extra safety car, you can then get home, or again with a little bit more fuel saving, you can get home as well.
You're probably going to take that gamble, aren't you?
Oh, for sure you would. If you've already done your first stop and you're a bit further back in the field, you take that gamble. It worked out for Sean Slater in split 4. It could work out for you as well in the higher splits. Got a heap of chats there before we get into the grid tonight. Of course, Sean Cullen's with us, Halil Cesar, Reese DeGoey, Wayne Sanderson, the 47th, out there with us as well. Hoffy's with us in the chat too. Steve Lanyon as well. Rhiannon's out there with us once again too. So great to have you all watching along with us and getting into the chat. Really appreciate your time you've taken out of your lives to join us here in the Vets. To watch along with us. If you're watching over on the Infinity Broadcasting channel as well, be sure to hit the like button, to subscribe, the bell icon too. And if you're watching on the Vets channel and you haven't done so already, hit the like button, to subscribe, the bell icon as well. Starting grid though for round 5 tonight will be as follows. Robert Crisdale for Frog Leap Juice Racing will start in the pole position alongside Simon Hedersheed. This has often been a strong track for Simon. Good to see him continue that form and putting it on the front row. Bruce Tannock, the fellow Kiwi of Simon, will start P3 alongside Lorne Mackay for your second row of the grid. Reese DeGoey, Trent Allen, to make up the top 6 to Brad Doble, Chris Blanchard, Tim Mulford and Damon Fisher for the top 10. Brett O'Brien for Evolution Racing Team will then start at a P11 alongside Old Mate and Sons Michael Quain for P12 here this evening. Halil Cesar, the championship leader, will start at a P13. Not a strong track for him, but a pretty good qualifying. I think he would agree. He'll start alongside Mick Clifton for our top 14 positions, with Robbie Griffiths and Andrew Hoffman on the 8th row in behind them. Craig Friend, Darren Crosby, Mark Houghton and Simon Haynes will make up the top 20, with Steve Lanyon, Shane Randall, Wade Reynolds and Paul Burns for our top 24 spots here on the grid. Michael Jones, Sean Cullen, Adrian Zeal, Matt Monday, Todd Duggan and Rick Viger make up the top 30 to Nick Hasler, Mario Reali, Brett Taylor, Brett Fisher and Matt Scholes, starting just ahead of Derek Lovegrove at the back of the field, with Jeremy Bush and Matty Parker makes his return to Split 2 tonight. Hasn't been here all season. He does his first race of the season here at Road America. 29
cars within a second of each other there. So the front of that, 29 cars, that's over a second. It's not much in the way at all. And there's a lockout grid with the Bretts back further down the pack.
We love seeing a Brett lockout. We just want it to be a little bit higher up the grid, Brett, I think.
Oh, I would love to be up a bit higher, but we'll move on from that. I didn't qualify well at all.
Well,
but we're in for a good one, I think.
I think we are. I mentioned that coming into this race for our regular drivers who can make a lot of rounds this season, I said that Crisdale was going to be the most likely to take the 5th race win of the season.
There you go, pole
position. Don't sniff away from Simon Hedersheed. He's very strong at this track. Lorne Mackay as well could be a sneaky one. Same for Reese DeGoey too. He could definitely sneak his way forward up there.
Good to see DeGoey back up.
He's done well.
Been down back in the pack for the last couple of races, so it's good to see him up there.
Well, we'll see how they end up across the 31 laps and the 200Ks this evening out at Road America. Barney will get ready to wave the flag in just a moment's time as the lights go up for these drivers here. 31 laps, 200Ks, Road America. What challenges can we be brought? And how many drivers are going to get caught in the melted cheese? It's a hot start from Bruce Tannock off the start line. He's already surpassed Simon Hedersheet, who's dropped a position, and he looks to put the challenge into Crisdale early at turn 1. Outside line for Tannock. Can he make it stick? Here, of course he can. One of the fastest drivers in the field, battling away with one of his split one drivers to come down from last season. Hedersheet, Mackay battling away. Allen as well. There's a little bit of bumping happening amongst this top 10, Brett, but it is big scramble early doors, and we'll see if anyone else survives lap 1.
I think there was Noble and Blanchard then just pumping doors for a second then, but everyone's got through so far, I think, mainly. Crisdale just got a bit of wheel spin off that start, so that's what hampered his start. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been as easy as would for Bruce Tannock, but he's definitely put the hammer down and away he's going there. Are we all going to get through this turn 5 cleanly? Yes, we do.
Yep, we
That's
do.
Good start to see.
That's good to see from them. So Tannock leads this round. Of course, he's taken a race win this season. One out at Portland last week. Took his first race win of the season. He's on the back foot, though, after early points lost. The first couple of rounds.
Got a little bit wiggly coming out of...
Oh, Michael Quain's off the circuit as well, and it's down just before the carousel. Yep. Let me select him, please. Oh, my God. There we go. I finally caught him. He was going down the list. I'm like, let me select him.
I'm not too sure, but has he got the telltale signs of just getting off in the dirt there and the back coming around there? I'm not sure.
Possibly.
Yeah, that was
sure.
Skid marks coming from that dip of the toes in the dirt there.
Well, Brett, you've got Mr. Parker right ahead of you at the moment. He's already up a couple off this race start. You're up 1. You've got to try and move forward as best you can as Wade Reynolds is off the circuit down at Canada Corner. So this could be early debris being brought back onto the road as Nick Hasler and Todd Duggan have also been involved in something down there too. So you can see the dust cloud.
Damage on the front.
Yeah, big damage on that 511 after the heights of Portland last week. It's an unfortunate start to this race tonight for Todd Duggan as he gets back going again.
Yeah, a lot of damage on that car. Yeah, and debris is starting to spread itself on the track. Tannock still out in front, second lap of 31 laps here at Road America. Nose to tail for a lot of the cars there, up to about 12th Clifton, which is about 1.5 seconds back. But Cesar looks like he's just come unstuck. Has he there? Or
he came past Mick actually up the inside.
Came past Mick, yep.
To P12 goes little Cesar.
He's in a bit of a charge.
Good to see Hoffy back in the field tonight as well. Griffo looking to go up his inside at turn 5. They can or not.
Oh, the fishy car there getting a little bit wide there.
Yeah, got a little bit wide, maybe a little bit loose as well.
Yep. 2x2, here we go. Can they get through cleanly here? Well done, boys. And we're still going to go for it. Griffiths just backing out there, and Haynes just sneaking up on the inside of Griffiths. Oh, Griffiths just liking those going through all the corners at the moment too wide.
Oh, contact! Oh my God, they've come back on track. Griffiths has bounced off the tyre barrier. Oh, there goes.
Wow.
Who was that? Was that Rick Weiger off the road as well? And I think Shane Randall has caught that. He's definitely made contact, I think, with the side of Robert Griffiths' car as it's come back on the road down there just before the carousel.
Action of plenty all the way up and down at the moment. That front right looks very ordinary on Randall's car. It looks like it's actually pointing in the opposite direction. Oh, look at that.
It is. That's big damage.
on that car.
This is one of the top 5 in the championship. So
this is going to hurt him.
This could be big championship implications because if he can't pull something out of this race, this is going to be
Hoffman dropping 2 spots, and he's off there too. So obviously the damage, just not aware of what the car's going to do there.
Luckily for Shane, he hasn't had a significantly poor round this season as Hoffy's in the pit lane. So as he looks to bring this car back in, he'll get that fast repair done, but it's an early cost to use the fast repair on.
You never want to use you never want to use your fast repair too early, but I mean, if you've got to do it, you've got to do it.
That's right.
So Todd, Randall and Hoffman in pits, as you said before. Griffiths in pits as well. Obviously those guys having a little bit of damage. Tanik still leading this race. He's only just out about half a second from Crisdale. Hedesheed about half a second back. So nice, still nice and tight up here. Dandel back to Mulford, starting to get a little bit of a gap between there, about 1.7 seconds between Blanchard and Mulford.
Blanchard actually set in the fastest lap of the race last time by a 2:10.87.
Yeah, I've seen
now.
that, yeah.
I don't think that'll stand for very long. It's a nice little notable tip of the cap for Chris there, just to get that lap time in nice and early for himself. Of course, bonus points on offer tonight, fastest lap, keeping the 0x across the whole race and leading the most laps. So, of course, Bruce Tanik will be getting that bonus point for leading 3 laps at the moment of this event. You also get a bonus point for leading a lap as well. Trent Allen, who's had a couple of up and down weeks thus far, has already taken a win this season, and both of his top 10 finishes have been inside the top 5, Brett. What more do we think Trent has to do to really solidify himself as a championship contender? Because he seemed the last few weeks, I think his internet cost him 1 week and then a mistake cost him the next. How can he best solidify himself amongst the championship battle? Perhaps not this season at this point, but maybe next season in season 25.
Yeah, well, I mean, if he gets his gremlin sorted out with the internet and anything else he's got going on, I mean, obviously he's got the pace. He just needs to get a few of those little 20-cent washers sorted out, and he might be able to sort of, just get some consistency going, and we'll get there. Another person I just want to take note of too is Doble. We need to keep an eye on him because he's in the championship hunt now. He didn't qualify probably as good as what he was hoping. But he's in P9 at the moment. He's dipped into the 11s, so just wondering whether Mulford's holding him up or not. But he's over a half second behind Mulford at this stage, so unless he's got some early issues or something like that going with that car. But Mulford is back about 1.5 seconds from Blanchard, so that gap from up the front, he's starting to sort of open up a little bit. 4 laps of 31 here at Road America.
Yeah, of course, we mentioned the cars can get to pretty much a maximum of lap 9. Fuel saving could get them to lap 10, though. It was quite marginal to get to lap 10, so they could realistically get it done. If anyone's going to get it to lap 10 of this race, well, I think you can look no further than the car right behind Brad Doble, Brett O'Brien, one of the best fuel savers in the field.
Bretton's already up 1 spot.
Yeah, he's already up 1, so he could definitely, and this is the sort of circuit that we would have seen prior to now. Brenton has fuel saved or fuel strategized his way forward, so he could definitely pull something out of this race, whether it's special or not. Just through quality fuel strategy, keeping his car clean and keeping his pace as fast as possible. So he's always one to watch on board that ERT Camaro. Damon Fisher, well, he's doing pretty well. He's only down 1 spot at the moment here, Brett. He did have a slight blink earlier, but he looks to be nice and consistent right now.
Talking about trying to get things sorted out to have a good decent race, I think if he got his internet sorted out, he'd be right. It'd be good to see Damon have a half a decent finish here tonight to help him. Because I think he's definitely a top 10 contender. He qualifies well, as we've talked about before. He just hasn't managed to put a whole race together. So hopefully he'll have a decent finish tonight. Cesar really breathing on the back of Damon here. The Shark.
Yeah, apparently there was complaints that the Shark graphic on the bonnet of Damon Fisher's car was not ferocious enough.
Right.
So they put a more ferocious, manly shark on the bonnet of that car. So I'm not sure who complained. I saw nothing wrong with the baby shark being on there. I thought it was, I don't know about you, Brett. I thought it was quite appropriate.
Yeah, very appropriate.
Yeah.
He's my younger brother.
Very good. Some good battle packs starting to form all throughout the field. Matty Parker's just come into pit lane. He had this battle pack previously behind him of Michael Quain, Jeremy Bush, Rick Feiger, who's back to where he started, and then Michael Jones currently down 6. If you look at the gain here tonight of some drivers, well, there's been some quite impressive numbers already built up across the whole field. Matt Monday's already up 11 into P17. Yourself, Brett, you're up 11 into P23. Matt Skulls up 11 behind you. Make that up 10 for Skulls. It's just been passed by Mario Reali. Bush is currently up 9. Lovegrove is up 9 as well. Taylor up 7. Reali now up 7 because Skulls got back past him. Cullen up 5. Zippy up 7. Burns up 5 as well. I needed a breath at the wrong time. Lanyon and Haynes up 5. Crosby up 4. Everyone else who's a
Truth,
gainer
you're right.
thus
I'm going to
far.
have a drink.
Yeah, I'm good right
Did
now.
you eat a bit of blue cheese or something, did you, Hamish?
No, I didn't. I promise I didn't. Everyone else at this stage is either up, less than 3 or around that point, or they've lost positions. Biggest loser thus far, well, we're looking at one of them. It's Michael Quain. He's down 17.
Yeah,
as well as Andrew Hoffman, who's taken a pit stop, and then Robert Griffiths, who was taken out very early on. He's down 23. Randall down 13 as well.
So Joey actually just drop off the back of Trent Allen. Caught myself there, about 1.2 seconds. So something's happened there to drop him off the back there, because it was down to Tim Melford that was about 1.2, 1.3 seconds. But
had a slight off track, did Reese. It was pretty much immediate back on track once he had been off. So maybe just running it a bit wide somewhere, possibly.
Just to drop him that half a second or so. Cruising up and down the pack. Monday's about 3 seconds off the back. Houghton is about 1 second. Ziegler is about 2.5. But there is a lot of action happening further down the pack as well up the front. So it's good to see a little bit of battling. As you talked about earlier, we don't want to see Quaney in pits, and we don't want to see, and also Reynolds in pits.
Yeah, both of them have come in.
If we all get spread out and there's no racing going on for some of these guys, it's a bit untidy. But here we go, Rick having a little bit of a look. Nothing really pronounced there.
So Reese has just mentioned that he went deep at turn 8, which you can easily drop, quite a bit of time off that, as Blanchard has got a smoking engine out the back of that WKMP Simsports car. Not the first of the silver WKMP Camaros across the weekend to have an engine issue. Russell Uren had a blown engine as well in split 3. Could there be an issue with these silver arrows on board the Camaros? Yep. Because
they need to have a look at their workshop.
Yeah, there's 2 of them now that run those colours that have ended up with a poorly engine on board. So he'll try and nurse that back to pit lane. But if he can't make it back and he stops on the road, well, he could very easily cause a safety car.
Definitely. We're just seeing also, and just not only because he's my teammate, but Sean Cullen actually qualified quite well, and he's actually having a decent race here in 20th spot at the moment. Yeah, he's had a couple of weeks off from work, for work, commitments, running late or working afternoon, evening shifts or whatever. But so he hasn't been on the track, but it's great to see him up in the in the 20s at the moment. So it's great so far. Hopefully he can keep that together and get a half-decent result. He needs a half-decent result.
This is a great effort from Sean tonight to be at this point, up 6, just outside the top 20. This is a great effort from Sean. Thus far as Zippy Fly goes off the road. Adrian Zeal caught some of that. There's definitely debris down there, Brett, and that's called him out.
Yeah.
And he's in the wall.
He has slipped on that cheese. I actually thought that the safety car might have come out, and that's why I actually dived into pits as well, and a few other people as well. But hey, 7, 9, close enough.
Only 2 laps.
You can work. You can work with that. Yeah. You can work with that.
Rick also pointing out the fact that's not Chris's first blown engine this season. That is correct. He has had one prior to now, so there may need to be some conversations with the engineers of the WKMP Silver Force to get some better engine. Maybe try magnesium instead of silver. That might work out a bit better. So Cesar, Clifton, Friend, Haynes, Monday, Zeal, Blanchard, yourself, Brett, Matt, and Derek Lovegrove all in a pit road. Bruce Tannick currently leads the way with Crisdale hot on his heels. Lon Mackay had a good start thus far, up 1 position, showing good pace tonight. He often has these little glimpses of exceptional performance about him. And there was quite a few seasons ago, unbeknownst to me, he snuck his way into the top 5 of the championship and got promoted up to split 1. And I felt so bad because he was just so consistent. He just pulled such a sneaky season out of himself that he just got himself up there through sheer consistency and staying out of trouble. And that's exactly what you've got to do if your hope is, your first hope is, promotion to split 1. If your second hope is win a championship, then you need to do that plus win races. That is the key.
Yeah. And it's amazing how it happens, as you're saying, Hamish, that you just put consistency above anything else, and it will come together. You know, I mean, winning races is fantastic, but consistency is better because there's no point in winning a race and then, you know, not finishing a race or being way down the pack in the next one. So, yeah.
Nice.
Doble on the back of Mulford, having a bit of a look on the inside there, backs out. Hopefully trying to get a bit of a run coming onto the front straight. A lot of debris there.
Look at all that gravel as they come into pit lane. So
Mulford and Doble in.
Yep. So they follow each other into pit lane here.
Oh, big lock up there.
Oh, massive lock up.
Yeah, so Mulford and Doble actually both of them had a huge lock up coming to pits there. Brad was out sideways for a second then.
Burns is in too. Good to see Mark Houghton back in the field tonight as well. We mentioned him earlier. Back in season 14, lap 1 went a lap down in the whole field after contact right at this very corner. Went on to win that race in an extraordinary effort. If you can bear with very early Hamish commentary, which I cannot, I do recommend you go back and watch that race because it was very up and down and an incredible comeback drive from Mark that night. He's up eight positions at the moment, having a very solid drive once again here at Elkhart Lake. So he's doing a top effort at this stage. Yep. Biggest gainer to get inside the top 10, Steve Lanyon, currently up 11 positions into P10, hot on the heels of Darren Crosby at the moment, who's up 9 positions into the top 10 as well. Brenton O'Brien up 4 is currently the highest gainer to reach the top 10, who started outside the top 10. Of course, he only started one spot outside of P11, so he had the shortest route to go, but he's done a very good job at the moment. He's got Damon Fisher hot on his heels as we into the pit stop period.
Lap 8 hit 31 at Road America. Bit of action happening so far. A few things going on. A little bit of debris coming on track. Getting a few cars caught out. You can see that wear on the outside of the kink there. There's a lot of drivers just dipping their toes into the grass and dirt.
Well, good to see. I mean, Brett's up 19 at the moment, so he needs a pit stop still, but just running consistent at this stage with Mario Reale just ahead of him as well. Hoping to see something out of Brett. Whether that's, he ends up getting dropped down to split 3 in future and he gets the challenge for a championship, or he finds some pace here in split 2. He's probably one of the nicest guys you can speak to in the whole field. Very outspoken, of course, is Mr. Taylor, but looking to see what he can do in future seasons here now that we're in the Gen 3 era. Full stop. Crisdale to Goey, Crosby all in pit lane 2, Brett here on this end of lap 9. So Tannick has gone to lap 10. Oh, sorry, has gone on to lap 9. So he'll do 9 full laps. We'll see if he makes an extra one as Cullen and Taylor are as well.
I've come unstuck there for a bit there too. I've dropped down to 32nd spot. Don't know what happened there. I think I might have had an issue coming into turn 5. And then I think I actually clouded the wall somewhere, ran off track as well in that same lap. So did not have a good lap 9 at all. Did you get that on the big jobs?
You get that on the big jobs from time to time.
So Tannick doing a solid job out in front at the moment, really controlling this race. Still up a half a second from his next predecessor, Lorne Mackay at the moment. Head of Sheed, Allen, Brian, top 5.
I've just seen something very interesting here, Brett, as well.
Yeah.
Look at the lap time of the pit stop time of Robert Crisdale, 16.4 seconds. He has stopped that car to what I can only assume be to get track position and be ahead of the leaders, because obviously if you can get into clean air here and you stay out of trouble, it can actually really benefit you across the race, especially if we go for a long green run. So if these guys get buried in the traffic, and of course with the beauty of undercutting in the Gen 3 supercar, it's spectacularly overpowered is the undercut. We could see Crisdale stream out ahead past these pit stops and very likely could see Tannick, Mackay, Heddersheed and Allen get buried in the field and then struggle to make their way through, which then if, with only 16 seconds of fuel, that's I think roughly 32 litres or so as they come into pit lane. 32 litres or so, it's only going to get him an extra 6 or 7 laps at the 5.2 litres per lap burn. So it's only going to get him a couple of extra, but it could be enough time to build up enough gap to pit in that second stop and come back out in the race lead. as these
Well,
guys
sometimes you've got to play the game, don't you? You've got to actually roll the dice and see what happens because, you know, sometimes things work out. Sometimes, you know, plans change, and you never know. You know, sometimes it come up trumps and sometimes you come up with an empty basket.
Let's watch these pit stop times from them. I don't expect any of those front runners to go for a short fill this time back as well. Let's see, though, what happens with Crisdale.
Orton exiting.
They're all in their pit boxes at this stage. Tannic has taken, of course, longer than 16 seconds on this stop. Crisdale gained about 9 seconds on DeGoey on the last stop. We'll see how that works out across their second pit stops as well. Tannic's going long. He's gone above 30 seconds, so he's actually, I think he's taking extra fuel on board to take a short stop later on in this race.
Yep.
Brett, the issue is now, though, he's buried in the top 10, and he's buried in
to
traffic. Oh, my God, how close do you want to get?
Wow, that could have been very hairy. You know, that could have been a side-by-side touch of the car's edge to go. He could have been forced onto the white line exiting pits and could have got a penalty out of that. That could have been hairy, but it has worked out all right.
That was Steve Lanier and Reese to go. He's actually up in the pit too at the moment.
Steve Lanier, sorry, my bad.
They are teammates though, so a fair mistake to be made. But yeah, like Tannic he's buried himself in the top 10 now. Now he will take a shorter stop next time by, of course. And unless we get a safety car this lap where he's going to be right up on the tail of everyone, because if we get to, you know, critical laps lap 14, if we get to lap 12, we're going to see people coming in to roll the dice. Unless we get a safety car this lap or next, he's going to have to try and push his way through, which that has not worked out the best for him in the past, trying to push his way through.
I'm getting hammered in the comments on the tube. Sorry, Steve. Sorry, Reese. I didn't look at the name. I just looked at the car and yeah. Sorry, guys. I will make mistakes continuously and also in the future. That's okay. The nature of me.
That's okay.
I promise you, I will get Trent Allen's name wrong in the future as well.
Well, you got it correct now, so that's fine.
Yeah,
I need to get the soundboard of the home improvement. I need to get that on the soundboard, so whenever you make the mistake, I can just click it.
Yeah, you can just click it. Yeah.
We've got some
I'm definitely not a perfect human.
It's okay though. Andrew Hoffman, who came in on lap 2. Now, remembering we only have a 93-litre capacity tonight, roughly 93.3 litres to be exact. He did 2 laps, so that would have lost him roughly 10 litres of fuel off his initial starting fuel of 50 litres. So, relatively speaking, he's probably 3 litres off of pure split strategy. So, if he can keep this car clean, keep these tyres clean all the way up to lap 20, he could very easily find himself in a positive position of at least staying within the fight for a top 10 finish tonight.
Yeah, that'll be good for him. Because he has had an up and down season. He's been in some incidents early and not on this particular race, but you know, like there's been a few things hampering him. So it'd be good to see him have a solid season, you know, for the rest of this season anyway.
I agree.
Bring his confidence back a bit.
And that's what we want. You know, we want confidence amongst the drivers, especially when they have had some tough runs. You know, look at what confidence did for Mark Houghton. He went back down to split 3, drove the season of his life. The only issue was he had to compete against Ray Smith to try and win a split 3 title. And Ray arguably should have been in split 2 last season, not in split 3. But you know, Mark can definitely hold his head up high for last season and what he achieved. And I think to achieve getting back to split 2 is a great achievement as well. As Clifton's trying to get past. Simon Haynes has been off the road up ahead, so he's just dragged some gravel back on the road down there. But Hoffy lucky to survive at this stage.
So Clifton just getting a little bit anxious there, trying to get a bit of a run on Hoffy there. So he's obviously got some pace in the car, so we'll have to keep an eye on that one. Also, a big shout out to Nick Horsler. We haven't actually seen much of him. He's doing right up in 18th spot at the moment.
He's doing pretty well.
Trent Allen all through this series.
Sorry to interrupt. Trent Allen has just traversed across the road down at the kink. This car is looking very poorly at the moment. I have to wonder if he ran it wide down there, Brett, and ended up colliding with the wall because the front left of that car is looking a bit, you know, less for
Bit how's your father?
Yeah, a bit how's your father at this stage.
Yeah.
So hopefully that hasn't happened, and hopefully if it did happen, it wasn't a technical issue, I should say.
Yeah.
You know, which has happened.
He's still fighting with it. Is he going to pit? Yeah, no, he's going to pit.
Yeah. He's coming in early. He's 2 laps away from critical, so unless he can save fuel, he's going to have to pit again for an extra 2 laps worth of fuel, or hopefully save the car.
Interesting to find out whether whether it was car or whether it was a hardware failure or something like that helped him out there, or.
That does give another position down to Nick Hasler, who is up 14 into P17 at the moment. Now, he did short fill 19 seconds, or 19 and a half seconds was the stop. So he'll have to give back a couple of seconds on the next one. But he's given himself track position compared to cars further back, so this could still work out for him. It's a tough balancing act of deciding when to underfill yourself and when to try and get yourself track position.
Yeah. Auburn's having a little bit of a look on there, going for the wide entry in on Apex.
Look up as well.
Going to come up and into the Corvette Bridge.
Yeah, we've also
Steve
got
Lanyon.
Steve Lanyon battling away. Good job. It's testing on that one. Battling away with Bruce Tannick.
I got a bit of a hint in the chat. Goey's got a blue thing down the bottom of his splitter, I believe. So,
you know, so let's compare. There you go. He's got
any
a
good
blue
commentator would
lip
probably pick those things up.
And a blue set of mirrors as well. Tell you what, Brent O'Brien, we mentioned how he can strategize his way forward. Well, he strategized his way forward up to P4 at this stage, thanks to some drivers going for a longer fill. He took about 21.8 seconds on his fill last time by. Up 7.
Yeah, that's good.
Halil says as well, up 8. He took a split stop, it seems, 25.25 seconds, so roughly 57 litres of fuel would be on board that Cooler Master car at the moment. So,
Dave will just behind him take it.
Our top 2 in the championship. At the moment,
these guys are actually building up to be the series sort of like, you know, what am I trying to say? You know, like battlers. You know, like they're having they're battling on track. They're battling for the top end of the championship. So. These guys are winding up to show something special throughout this series. So we're good to keep on these two.
Not just them, Brett. Chrisdale as well. I mean, as I said to you, a race win puts him right amongst them. That's all he really needs is, you know, whilst those guys remain on 1 win, he only needs 1 win to be right back into it with them. And I mentioned that 2 wins is going to win you the title this season, or at least 2 wins. If we look at it from the perspective of, well, currently we're on form for what's happened in the past. We've had 4 different race winners in the first 4 rounds. You know, 2 or 3 wins only wins you the title. If we get a different race winner tonight, here in round 5, that then kind of changes a little bit. We're in unknown ground then. We don't really quite, you know, how sure can we then be on how many race winners do you need? I still believe even with 5 different race winners in the first 5 rounds, 2 race wins is going to be your ticket. If we then get a 6th different winner next week, 2 race wins all of a sudden becomes even more important. If we somehow go 7 different race winners in round 7,
we're in uncharted territory. We're in the middle of the ocean.
Real uncharted territory at the moment. Reselling protagonist. Yeah, I suppose they're the protagonists of the championship narrative of this season. At the moment, I'd say Rob, Halil, Brad are our protagonists for this season. They're as the narrative would speak, you know, you'll watch it from start to finish, and those are probably going to be the guys.
Have a look at this angry battle pack. Steve Lanyon going for dive on the inside of Tannick.
Oh, big lock up though.
Damon just being shuffled out there because he was. Oh, there we go. That's
header sheet off the road. He's got back on. Very lucky.
Damon was the big loser out of that because he was on the back of Mulford looking very racy, but then he's dropped 2 further spots. So hopefully he can gather that back up and stick on the back of Lanyard there. But Tannick pushing forward now. So he's got clear air in front of him. That little altercation has actually made a large gap between Mulford and Tannick.
It has indeed.
Dropping back about 3-4 seconds.
The issue right now is as well, Brett. So Tannick, in the magic number for Chrisdale is 22 seconds. That's the difference he needs when he pits the next time by to remain ahead of Tanik. The gap he's currently got is around about 22 seconds, but that is ebbing and flowing back and forth, above 22, below 22.
I'm glad you can do all these calculations because I'd be hopeless. So
luckily for you, Brett, I did these calculations on Thursday. I just had to remember them on Saturday.
Right.
So
yeah, okay, there you go.
So if he can remain 22 seconds ahead, he should exit pit lane. Well, he won't exit pit lane ahead of Bruce because he can't go as long as Bruce because he underfilled. In fact, we're probably going to see Rob come into pit lane in the next few laps. But it should be when Bruce comes in through the pit lane, Rob should actually pass him on exit if he can remain at 22 seconds. And battling with Mulford, Lanyon, Fisher, that's not going to help Tanik at this stage. If they continue to battle once Crisdale's back out on track from the pit stop as well, that's only going to hurt him even more so. It's going to be an interesting storyline that's going to come about throughout this race, I feel. But that's the number to remember is 22. 22 seconds is the magic number for Rob Crisdale to remain in the race lead after this next pit stop. And if we look at the current gap, the current gap is 22 seconds between the race leader
on the money,
and Bruce Tanik.
So that's going to be interesting. So Tanik has managed to close the gap on Mulford. It's around about that 0.6, 0.7 seconds. But Lanyon is still on the ginger of Tanik, and Damon has closed that gap back up on the back of Lanyon. So, you know, these three guys, they're doing all right. They're doing pretty well.
Yeah, they're just continuing their fight at this stage. This is the battle for 7th position on the road. Tanik just starting to sneak back onto the rear end of Tim Mulford's car. But, I mean, you know, some of these narratives, some of these storylines that play out throughout the season, Brett, you know, you look at them maybe now with the current background of what's happened this season. Some of these storylines are really only going to get tasty by the time we get to the final round at Okayama. Like, some of these are really, we're going to look back, similar to last season, we'll look back on them and we'll think, oh my God, that actually had a major factor in the end of it.
I mean, and the season is actually, is brewing like a good cheese, like a good aged cheese or a good aged wine.
Or perhaps a nice aged Scotch or rum as well, Brett.
Yeah. It's just building. You know, like, are we going to get into unprecedented territory with another winner, or are we going to have our second winner of the season? You know, to keep within tradition that has been thus far. You know, there's all these things that are on the precipice of happening. We don't know. And as you said, you know, we'll look further back and go, wow. You know, I mean, last season was a rip snorter. It was a fantastic season all the way throughout. This one's starting to build. It's, you know, like it's just starting to build and, you know, things are starting to brew.
I think it's, you know, we're getting, this season's looking more and more like it's going to be a real full-bodied, full flavour, nice and, you know, just really delicious season on our plates. And I think the reason that the momentum swing often comes at the halfway point is we often get a 2-time or 3-time race
Tanik,
winner,
have a look on this.
Tanik wanted it.
Yep.
Couldn't quite get there though. Lanyon will be hungry to get past him.
Well, Damon actually having a look on a little bit of a sneak on the inside of Lanyon there as well, but he wasn't close enough unless he was just out of line. This is a great battle now. You know, Tim Mulford's done a great job to stay out in front. It's taken him a few laps to actually bring up on the back of his car, but he's where is he now? He's about 0.5, so he's still managed to maintain a bit of a gap there. But Lanyon closing. Lanyon definitely closing, and Damon's still within the touch as well. Just only takes a small error. Oh, Steve Lanyon almost. I think he probably even just rubbed that bumper then.
Yeah, I think he definitely gave it a little peck, for sure. But you feel that there is an aura about this battle, don't you? But you feel that something could be coming off of it. You know, we often see battles where drivers get a bit feisty, they're battling away for a few laps, and then it ends up blowing up in our face. Not that we're going to call the cart before the horse and claim it's going to, but you have a sense that it definitely could.
Damon just showing the nose there again. I don't know whether he's intending to do it, have a crack at Steve there, or he's just showing the nose to say, oh yeah, I'm here. Tanik just closing that gap again on Mulford. We are past halfway, 16 laps of 31, or we're on halfway.
We should
Hope you're at
expect
the back of Mulford.
a couple of pit stops, I think, coming very shortly here, Brett, because their split strategy of 56.5 and 56.5, well, that only gets you to around about lap 20. So I think, you know, we're past critical. Drivers can definitely start coming in now to try and undercut some of the field. And it's not too far of a distance to go, you know, 15 or so laps on a set of tyres. So I think we're definitely going to see some drivers coming in soon as they run through the kink. Off the back, it's in Mulford's car. Tanak is putting a heap of pressure on him, but again, this is costing him the ability to gain time on Crisdale. That gap is still sitting at 22 seconds to the race leader as Crisdale comes into pit lane. So this is now the bright point. This is the swing point for Bruce Tanak. He has to get past Tim Mulford, and he has to try and chase down Brad Doble and Halil Cesar just to make back the 4.5 seconds that separates them at the moment. That's what he needs. He wants to go for it at turn 1 as Fisher blinks back into existence. As they run up the main straight here, Lanyon, I think, could try and sneak on by him if he can get an opportunity.
Damon just disappeared in the shadow realm for a second there. Oh, Tim Mulford covering off on the inside. Lanyon going on the inside too. This is getting hairy. Tanik on the outside.
Bit of a door there.
2 by 2. Panic wide. Oh,
Fisher,
Damon, what is he doing?
Got a bit scared. I think he may have splashed out of water. Lanyon on the inside, though, at 3 with Tanik. Door to door, they run through 3. So they're
Lanyon
getting
on the
feisty.
inside. Nice move.
It was a good
nice
move.
Great move there.
Oh, Tanik's not happy, though. Tanik is not happy with him. He is not happy. How dare you make an overtake on me at turn 3 whilst giving me a door? How dare you go touring car racing with me, sir? As he looks to go for a massive lunge at turn 5. Contact's made. That there, I think, more so we can say, Brett, will probably be a drive-through penalty for Bruce Tanik because he's just dumped Lanyon into turn 5.
Was there a bit of red mist there?
I feel there may have been. I think the flashing of the lights definitely probably can lead us to believe that.
Yeah.
Wow. But that there,
I mean, there was desperation. Desperation there, big time.
For sure. So let's find, where is Crisdale? So Crisdale's about 39 seconds back from Bruce Tanik. It's a rough 55-second loss in pit lane. At the moment, Crisdale is projected to be 3 positions ahead of Bruce Tanik when he exits pit lane. So
and has Tanik got a penalty? If
he has a drive-through,
possibly, that's gonna kill his night.
Yeah, if he has a drive-through, that'll kill him, because he'll drop even more time. So Reece DeGoey is now the race leader as we run up the hill once again. So he gets himself an extra point. Let's try and lead from the front. He's got Lon Mackay, Brett O'Brien in behind. Halil says a Brad Doble, the current top 5.
Steve Lanning just commenting in the chat there. Felt like I got hit by the Titanic. Dable in pits on lap 18. It's all going off here.
I think Steve Lanyon could be retitled the Iceberg possibly there as he's come back in a pit lane. Doble's in as well, Hoffman's in, so Doble may be trying to undercut Cesar here, and then they had roughly about a second difference on their pit stop times. Doble was about a second longer, so he'll likely gain a second on Cesar across this next stop, so we'll see how that now pans out.
Duggan Horsler, Lanyon in pits, Doble in pits, so he should be coming out shortly. He's been there for a while.
Yep. Brett O'Brien, what a great race from him thus far. Up 8 spots, P3, strategized his way forward. And some of these little shenanigans that have been happening in behind him could definitely come out to his benefit after this pit stop. Namely, if Bruce Tanik has a drive-through, well, that's going to cost him a chunk of time. If it's a post-race drive-through, depending on how busy RC have been, that's going to cost him even more. So there's an asterisk on it at the moment. We'll see how it all pans out, but it looks to be.
Yeah, it might cost him a chunk of stinky blue cheese.
Oh yeah. I'd hate to be Bruce Tanik if it cost him that.
Yeah. So DeGoey in front by 0.3, 0.4 from Mackay. O'Brien back about 2.4 seconds behind. Cesar another 5 seconds back behind him. Tim Melford in the top 5 at the moment, 7, 8 seconds behind there. So look, you know, things are starting to settle down. We'll see what happens once we all get our all our pits done and the field gets cleansed.
We'll see how it all
Kai
plays
looking very
out.
racy on the back of
He's
Degoe.
looking very racy here, and you know what? Both these guys, if they can continue to run consistency for the next few laps as O'Brien's in, don't be surprised if these guys are at the front. Honestly, I mean, Chrisdale, you know, he's having to deal with traffic. Obviously, Tannick's having to deal with traffic and has been dealing with traffic. Those guys are still running in clean air as Tannick's in pit lane now. So we'll see where he ends up in comparison to Chrisdale. Chrisdale wants to try and get this move done on Bush. You'd hope that Bush may just let him have it for free, knowing that Chrisdale is one of the front runners here tonight. They make contact into Canada corner.
Wow.
Bush goes off. Chrisdale's run wide. This is crucial now because Tannick's in pit lane. Is this going to cost Chrisdale the possible race lead that he had strategized for himself as he rejoins the circuit just ahead of Shane Randall? Where is Tannick? Tannick's yet to actually get into the box, so Chrisdale should still pass him, but how far is that gap going to be now?
It's going off like a frog in a sock here at the moment at Road America. Lap 19 of 31.
Tannick's exiting now.
Here we go. Tannick's exiting.
Oh my God, that incident has cost Robert Chrisdale the race lead, the effective race lead. I think we can both agree, because he's come out right alongside Brenton O'Brien. And even though O'Brien's on cold tyres, he's not going to let him have it. This is a battle for genuine position. So now the thought has to be, Brett, well, Reese Degoe and Lorne Mackay are over 55 seconds ahead of Bruce Tannick at the moment. So these guys, projected, should exit pit lane ahead of the previously projected race leaders of Bruce Tannick and Robert Chrisdale.
Sitting in the box seat at the moment. You know, at this point, at lap 19, you know, being Mackay, do you just tuck up behind Degoe and, you know, just push forward?
I think
or
so.
do you try and force past, you know, like...
I think he's in a comfortable position. He's got slightly more fuel on board
Degoe
than Degoe does, because Degoe has to come into pit lane.
Yeah.
So now Mackay can just push on. And I think he just has to push on until the tank's going to be empty, because he doesn't want to get buried in the traffic. So Degoe in, Cesar's in as well. So we'll see how well this strategy plays out for Halil.
Oh, it's got that feeling
Head
again.
sheets
It's building. It's building to a big crescendo here.
So there's Tannick. He's only just coming through the forest section down towards Canada corner as Degoe's in pit lane. So if you recall last lap, Tannick was entering pit lane as Chrisdale was making contact with Jeremy Bush. So Degoe's entered pit lane a little bit earlier. In fact, he's already in the pit box as well. This here is getting feisty right now. Current pit stops. There's been a couple of drivers who've done their second stop thus far. So Tannick about to run up the hill.
Yeah, Lorne Mackay, Tim Mulford, Crosby Haynes,
Oh my God, he got him.
Friend Houghton, Reale, Vigar, Zeal and Jones are the only ones that have still got a pit for their second pit stop.
And Jeremy
There's still a few drivers. Further back, yeah, righto.
But yeah, I mean, Degoe with a great gain through this strategy call, did the split strategy, and has come out ahead of Bruce Tannick, and not just right out ahead of him either, 3.5 seconds ahead of him with traffic in between them. So
good place to be.
It's a great place to be. Now, you know, Zeal, Jones, Vigar, they need pit stops, so it's not going to be long that Degoe has this gap. But this has played out really nicely for him. And I think for Mackay, projected, he should also come out ahead of Tannick as well, because he is going to take less fuel than what Degoe did.
Yeah.
And he's still that far ahead. So I think when Mackay pits, he should come out probably P2 or P1.
We'll find out today.
We will. We will
time,
find out.
yeah.
I mean, it's an incredible storyline when it comes together, and it's one that
Oh, yeah.
I think that, you know, it's so interesting how these strategies come together. And I'm watching the pit out position right now. It's flicking between ahead of Tannick, behind Tannick, constantly.
Yeah, wow.
So Mackay's got to put the foot
Crosby and
down.
Haynes in.
They are into pit lane as well. So well and truly into the pit stop territory at this stage. We are past the halfway point of this race as well. So we're going to take this quick moment just to give thanks to our title sponsor, Racecraft Simulations. They've been a long-time supporter of the series. Head over to 16 Grogan Road, Perth Airport if you're in the WA area. Chat to John and the team. Check out some of the rigs they've got on the floor. Maybe even purchase one for yourself if you've got the spare coin. Once again, big thanks to them. It is currently their, I believe, 7th season with the Vets, coming up on their 8th next season. They've been around since season 18, so a massive thank you to them. We're back very, very shortly after these messages. Lord Mackay leads the way. When does he pit? And where does he end up when he exits pit lane? We're back very soon. Great to be back, ladies and gentlemen, with the Racecraft Simulations V8 Veterans. Split 2 action here for Season 24, Round 5 out at Road America. Tim Mulford currently leads the way, but he still needs his second pit stop of the race. So Reece De Goey is the effective race leader once those final pit stops have occurred. Want to give a massive shout out to our series sponsors. Of course, Racecraft Simulations, the title sponsor. Once again, big thank you to those guys. And as well to Logitech G, Parramatta Isuzu Ute, Nova, Simsports, Player One Sim Gear, Südspeed gloves, LGC Images, and Chubby Buns Burgers for the Driver of the Day award, which we will chat about, I'm sure, towards the end of this race, of who we're going to decide of who's going to be nominated. At the moment, I think the current front runners at this stage have got to be probably, well, we can't say Reece because he's going to be the race leader, but I think Bretton O'Brien, Halil Cesar, Simon Hedesheed, and maybe Bruce Tannick are our current front runners for Driver of the Day at the moment, Brett, I think they're probably the guys who
Roger that.
A pretty clean race. I think Bruce may, actually no, I think Bruce probably gets a strike through his name for the contact with Lanyon actually, so
yeah,
disregard that. I think other than that,
Mulford in.
Yeah, Mulford is in. Maybe Mulford, if he ends up still inside the top 10. Maybe Mulford's the one.
He was 33 seconds in front of De Goey at this point, so there he goes there.
He's projected to come out around about P15, so it looks to be a bit of a loss for him in pit lane, but we'll see.
Yeah.
How it pans out. Tagoe will retake the race lead. Continue on to leading more laps of this race. If he can lead all the way to the end, he will get the bonus point for leading the most laps here this evening. Well, Mackay, P2 at the moment. Michael Jones has actually made a move on Bruce Tannick. Well, Bruce is not going to be happy about that because Michael still needs a second stop. And he'll be questioning, why have you passed me when you need a pit stop and you're holding me up from catching the guys I'm actually battling. Not that that's Michael's fault. He's battling for race position, but he has every right to possibly battle someone for a podium position, even if he is going to give it up on his pit stop.
Mulford in pits for a very long time, 45 seconds at the moment.
He's at a stop hold, I think.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that is for sure a stop hold penalty. It is well above 50 seconds. So that's taken him right out of contention. So I think our front runners at the moment, probably Brenton O'Brien, Rob Crisdale, or Simon Hennessy, Halil Cesar, maybe Darren Crosby as well. He's one of those front runners. He's currently up 8 as well. And they're probably my current front runners. Bush is up 22, but he needs a pit stop. Michael Jones is up 22, but he also needs a pit stop as well. So we'll see, though. We'll see how it pans out towards the end of this race. But to go,
plenty of time for things to happen.
Oh, plenty of time. It might only be, 8 laps to the end when we cross the line, but you got to remember those lap times are roughly 2 minutes and 10 seconds each time by, so it's about 16 minutes of racing, good green racing right to the end. And it doesn't look like at the moment we're going to get a safety car, Brett. This looks to be our first full green race of the season, I believe. I think we've had a safety car every round thus far.
Yeah. Yep. So really, at this stage, it's the goe's to lose at this stage.
It is.
He's got about a second in front of Mackay, but Mackay, just noticing over that last lap, he's closed about 0.3, 0.4 of a second. So he's on a charge, actually closing even further than that. So he's on a very big charge at the moment. Jones has got a pit. Tannick is 0.5, so he's about 4 seconds behind Mackay.
Yeah, he also hasn't actually.
Oh, look at that time! Look at that time of Mackay. Look at that time of Mackay. 2 minutes 9.852
for Craig Friend on that last lap as well. He did the same lap time. So Mackay has matched the fastest lap of the race, previously done by Craig Friend, as pushes into pit lane. I'm also wondering, Bruce Tannick has a pit lane penalty, but he's not served it at this point.
Oh.
So that must mean it's a post-race penalty. Maybe they added time for a pit lane penalty to his end of race time.
Yeah, okay. Okay, well, that'll be hurting Bruce.
Well, it definitely will be. No matter where he ends up, that'll hurt him.
Yeah.
But these front two are starting to get into a rip snorter of a battle here. Only 0.45 of a second separating them with 7.5 laps left to run. If either of these two drivers win this race here tonight, it will be our 5th different race winner of the series. The first time that's ever happened in Split 2 since the stats, in my opinion, count, which is ever since we started pre-qualifying in Season 11. Sean Cullen asking, is Mackay on fresher tyres? 2 lap fresher tyres, Sean. So they're not going to make that much difference compared to Reese's. It might make a bit more difference, though, at this stage, I'd say, Brett. I think towards the end of the race, they're not going to make as much of a difference, only being 2 laps newer.
Oh, Reese just running a little bit wide there. Look, Mackay closes up even further. Mackay definitely chasing hard. Goes for a little bit of a look on the outside of this turn. Goes for a bit of an under-over, closes that gap even further. Mackay just steps the back out a little bit sideways. A little bit too much on the gas.
Had to confirm Tannick's drive-through is a post-race drive-through, so that'll be an added 55 seconds or so. For the drive,
wow.
45 seconds, so that'll kill his race, no matter where he finishes here this evening. As we run up towards start-finish line, Mackay's got pace, but he can't find the route by.
Yeah, no, it's like one of those things. He's got pace, closes up the gap onto Goey, but then just makes that little bit of an error, like just over trying just to sort of get past, and then drops back a bit. So you want to watch that too. Start cook the tyres a little bit.
I think as well, the important thing to remember is as well, Brett, this track is actually quite easy. It's not only easy to attack at, it's actually quite easy to defend as well. So it really leads to some nice close battling. What it can also lead to is cars getting overlapped with each other and making contact, because you can easily attack whilst the other driver can easily defend, and kind of gets out of balance.
And you see Mackay closing again. So what's he going to do here? Goey just straight line that the kink there down to here. Nice wide entry. Mackay just going even wider, trying to get a bit of a fast shot out as he does, and he closes that gap. 0.1, 0.2 under the Corvette bridge. So what he can do here is right on his ginger.
Tanik's just made the move at turn 5 on Michael Jones as well, who's got very old tyres at this stage. They are 16 laps old, so we suspect that Jones will have to come in soon for more fuel. So now watch for Tanik to pounce and start to chase down the race leaders. We've got 6.5 laps left to run here of Road America, and not long left now. It's roughly 36 Ks left of racing for us. And it's not over until that checkered flag flies, Brett. I mean, anything can happen.
Anything and does. Anything and will.
If we get this scenario, for example, that Bruce Tanik gets dropped out for whatever reason, the next car that could possibly get a second victory here tonight is Halil Cesar back in P8. That is the next possible car that would not be a new race winner. DeGoey, Mackay, O'Brien, Crisdale, Heddersheed are yet to take a race win here tonight. I skipped Michael Jones because he needs a pit stop.
Yeah, he
cannot possibly win. But yeah,
I think we're on pretty good odds.
We're on pretty good odds for that 5th new winner.
Very good odds.
There's 5 drivers above the next closest second or 2-time race winner outside of Bruce Tanik who could win their first race of the season.
Unless all hell breaks loose. So 0.2 of a second faster. Mackay is on to go. Coming around that time around lap 26. They're still just hovering around about that 0.2, 0.3 of a second off the back of DeGoey. Closes in on here. But just a tough, like you've got to get a good entry and a great exit.
And these guys are going to be careful, because the harder that they begin to battle, the closer the Bruce Tanik is going to get, and the faster he is going to chase them down. So now it's a patience game. I think for Mackay, as much as he'd love to win, he probably needs to just hang out behind DeGoey at the moment, not put too much pressure on him, let themselves build up some gap over Tanik, and then start to attack him in the last few laps, because they don't want to begin battling like this and then give up that 3.5 second gap that they've got over that car, because it is going to dwindle very, very quickly.
Yeah, and that's the thing, isn't it? Like as soon as they start battle heavy, that's going to draw Tanik back in. Just noticing too, Heddersheed, Cesar and Doble having a great battle. Lanyon and Damon Fisher having a great battle. Hoffman and Burns having a battle there. And then further down the pack, about 30 plus, there's a nice little pack there as well. So a few battles going up and down the field here still.
Been some really, really, really good battles on offer for us thus far, so we'll see how well those drives
closing.
Look at how close.
Huge.
Lorne Mackay is on the back of Reese DeGoey up towards Canada Corner. Was not able to make it stick around the outside, but they've already dropped half a second to Bruce Tanik on that last lap alone, Brett. So this, DeGoey's defending position, fair enough, but he's also giving up time to Bruce Tanik, which is crucial time that they do not want to give up, because it's the time that they built up through their pit stop strategy and through the luck on track this evening of Tanik getting caught up, as Michael Jones finally enters pit lane and gives us our corrected order.
So 27 of 31 here completed at Road America. Mackay on the inside, just pulls back out again.
Couldn't quite get there in the end. Couldn't quite make the mustard stick and get that move made. Where can he do it, Brett? Where do we think is his best chance? I think it's try and force a mistake at 5, tuck the car up the inside, go too wide up towards 6, and then make the position off the exit.
Yeah, I think he's just got to. I mean, who am I to say? But I think he's just got to try. I mean, we saw him lose some distance there. He got a little bit of a wiggle on the exit of that turn back there. But he's just got to keep the pressure on DeGoey, and try and make a clean pass, because he's closing that gap all the time. So, DeGoey just parked it on the apron there for a second. So to go, is he fighting the car a little bit? Mackay definitely got more pace than Degoe. Has a look on the inside, but see, this is going to, another right tucked up on the inside there. Can he get this done? Probably not around the outside of the carousel. But if he builds up enough speed on the exit, he might give himself a chance there. Tanik down to 1.2 seconds now.
So that's the gap that we can see to P1 and P2 for Bruce Tanik. Through their battling, he's managed to chase them down over the last few laps. Last lap by was a 2:12 for both of the top two drivers. It was a 2 minute 10 seconds, 0.7 for Bruce Tanik. So he gained around about a second and a half over both of them on that last run by the line. We'll see what the difference is this lap, but it's a big gain because he's only about a second back off them now, and he'll be in tow range very likely by the end of the main straight up at 1 or possibly into turn 5 at the end of the second straight. Let's see what the time difference is as they cross the line. It's a 12, it's a 10 again for Tanik. So they are giving up so much time by battling like this. And it's arguably cost them at this stage, Brett, because now Tanik is in tow range and could be ready to pounce at any moment.
It's just going to build the pressure at the front of this pack big time.
And then if these guys start battling as well, what does that do to allow Brett O'Brien, Rob Crisdale, Simon Hedesheet, Halil Cesar, Brad Doble into thing? Because that long line of stern is just back there as well.
Oh, yeah, and it's closing. It is closing big time, and it's going to be an angry little pack, I tell you.
Oh, Reese DeGoey has also underfueled his car, so he's actually fuel compromised at the moment.
Right. Well, that probably explains a few things. Mackay's probably, good on fuel, and he's probably pushing that car hard. Tim Mulford in pit lane again.
It's a shame for Tim.
Mackay just had a little bit of a look on the inside there, had to back out again. Mackay be getting quite frustrated behind DeGoey at the moment, I would assume.
Of course, last week was the first race win for the Chevrolet Camaro this season, the first 3 rounds prior. It was all Mustangs at the front of the field. Well, right now, we've got 4 Camaros leading the way. DeGoey, Mackay, Tanik and O'Brien. Then we only get to the first Mustang of Crisdale in P5 this evening as well. So maybe a swing of momentum towards the Camaro.
Yep. Oh, Tanik on the inside. Had to back out of that, but he's now starting to show the nose. So Mackay's going to be sort of watching him in the mirrors too, as well as trying to sort of see what he can do to get past DeGoey. So this is really going to hamper. These 3 guys are going to probably fall back into O'Brien's clutches very shortly. 1.8 seconds.
3 laps to go of Road America here this evening. 18 or roughly 20 Ks left of racing for the 200 kilometres here tonight. Lap 29 of 31, and the top 3 are separated by less than 0.5 of a second. There is nothing separating these 3.
Yeah, Tanik looking fast.
He's looking so fast. So fast. Of course, Tanik would love to be the first multiple-time race winner this season. DeGoey, Mackay, well, they'd love to be the history makers of being the first 5th different race winner in the 5th round of the season. We've never had it happen before, where we've had 5 different winners across the first 5 rounds. And it could be on here for Mackay or DeGoey.
DeGoey wide, Mackay wide.
They
Bruce
both run wide.
Up on the inside.
Here comes Tanik.
Bruce is going to force
inside
it
line.
here.
There's contact with Mackay. Off the road goes Lorne. I think he may have turned in possibly on Bruce there, because Bruce looked to be far enough up at the corner. So Mackay out of the battle and out of the running for the race lead. And all of a sudden we're back down to a 2-horse race.
Oh, what's going on? So DeGoey still probably, I don't know where he's on the fuel at this point, but Tanik is not worried about fuel at this point at all, and he's going hard. He's got the sword out and he's just flicking away. So
DeGoey could be feeling pressure right now from Bruce Tanik. as they run round the kink.
I'm sure he's
He'll be feeling pressure from the fuel gauge. He'll be feeling pressure from the fact that Tanik has now fought his way up to P2 on the road as well. And as they enter Canada Corner and up through Thunder Valley, Tanik gets a
little bit wide.
Tanik's got a great run out that corner, and this gap has shrunken down to 0.2 of a second. It'll be 2 laps
Brian,
to go.
1.4.
I mean, he's chasing them down. He is catching them. So if these guys battle, O'Brien's maybe going to have 1 lap to put the pressure on them. 2 laps left to go though at Road America. Lap 30 of 31. Tanik and De Goey battling away for the race win and the race lead. De Goey's trying to cover the inside, but Tanik's going to force the issue. Contact's made. Tanik goes into the grass. They're both still going down to 1. They're both off the road and into the sand trap. And Brendan O'Brien is going to sneak on by into the race lead with Chris Dale hot on his heels. Massive implications for this race here this evening.
That was absolutely huge. And look, O'Brien into the front now with Crisdale on his tail. He's only 0.2, so we've got what a race. Oh my goodness. And these, and not to take it away from anything from the front of here, but there's a lot of battles going up and down the field as well. So there's still a lot of close racing going back down further, but I'll tell you what, the action is up in front at the moment.
Well, Brendan O'Brien will have a smile on his face right now, as wide as anyone has ever had, because he has just been handed the race lead with a lap and a half to go now, with Crisdale on his heels, Heddersheet as well, who's fought his way back up to the podium at this stage. An incredible effort from him. But what a strategy from O'Brien. Fuel strategied his way forward. You know, I think it's so impressive, Brett. We may need to just break a rule and claim, because if he's our 5th different race winner of the season, it's a new margin. It's a new record. It's a record-breaking race performance. We made the exception last season for Sean Vandermeulen in our first wet race, the fact he went 0x. Do we make an exception tonight for a record-breaking race result?
And why not? I say why not? Let's throw the hat in the ring. Anyway, we're still going to see what happens at the end. 30 of 31 completed in this pack. The top 5 guys even further back. Sorry, top 7. They're all looking very, very hungry. And the finish line is the big chubby bun to be eaten.
I'll tell you what, we spoke about race strategy. We spoke about those protagonists this season. Crisdale, P2 at the moment. Cesar, P4. Doble, P5. So the 3 protagonists, the 3 contenders this season, at least at this stage of the season, are right up and amongst it. 1 lap left to run though. White flag is out. O'Brien is leading the way to Crisdale and Heddersheet. But I think for Crisdale, he may not want to push the envelope too hard just to get the race win. He may be happy with P2.
Well, that's it. I mean, what do? You know, some people have the mental attitude of win it or bin it, but then some people are looking at the bigger picture. And I'll tell you what, there's a big picture looking behind there with all those cars coming down here. Crisdale just having a little poke of the nose there. I don't think he's going to do anything good. Takes it out wide, tries to get a nice clean apex. Get some speed out of that corner coming up to the Corvette bridge.
Well, not long left here at Road America. At Road America. Round through turn 7 we go. And down the hill towards turn 8. Brendan O'Brien is only roughly 3Ks away from being a race winner here in season 24 of the Racecraft Simulations V8 Veterans.
Heddersheet again getting a wiggle of the tail there, so Cesar be lightning on him. And I'll tell you what...
a great race from Heddersheet tonight, I think. Very deserving of getting a nod, at least, for a nomination. But for Brendan O'Brien, as he runs it through the kink, there's one opportunity left for Crisdale to get past him, and it's at the next corner at Canada Corner, down here at the end of the straight. Does he get it done? Does he go for it? Only time will tell. It doesn't look likely. To me, it seems that Crisdale's going to be happy just to settle for P2, happy to settle for the points, take home the consistent finish, and not risk binning your race, which can take you out of the championship fight. One more corner, turn 14, we run round, and for the first time in V8 Veterans history for Split 2. We have 5 different race winners in the first 5 rounds as Brenton O'Brien takes the win for Evolution Racing Team ahead of Robert Crisdale and Simon Heddersheet on the podium. Halil says that Brad Doe will make up the top 5. The comeback from Lorne Mackay to P6 is a great effort.
Yep.
And then Darren Crosby into P7. Bruce Tannock as well has just lost position to Simon Haynes for P8 as Damon Fisher has rejoined into the land into P11 as Mick Clifton takes P10 as well. Craig Friend,
Wow.
2 dropping positions early off that moment there, but history's made.
Ooh,
Records are
what a
made to be
race.
broken. And for Brenton O'Brien, his name now sits in the history books as the first ever 5th different race winner in Split 2 to win their first race of the season in round 5. That there is a fantastic effort from him.
That is a huge, huge, huge effort. The season 24 is now starting to build to, massive heights, and a great race there tonight. A little bit of controversy here and there. Very hard battling, but we're not here to play sandcastles. We're here to race, and things happen, unfortunately. Sometimes people make mistakes. Some people probably try and force things that probably shouldn't be forced. But at the end of the day, something's going to happen, and Brenton O'Brien has taken out the win here, which is absolutely fantastic.
I think as well, before we have a chat to our podium finishers here tonight, we need to determine some Driver of the Day nominations. I think for me, we have to.
Yeah, we're gonna break the rule.
Think.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna break the rule.
So Driver of the Day noms: Brenton O'Brien. I think Simon Heddersheet drove a great race. I hope I spell his name correct. I think Lorne Mackay's comeback as well was fantastic, Brett.
Yeah.
And then I think, do we maybe give a nod to, out of Crosby and Cesar for their strategy play, who do you think worked out better out of those 2?
Oh, who finished higher?
Halil.
Well, you got to give it to Hillel.
Okay. All right.
But hasn't Hillel won a Chubby?
No, he hasn't won it this season.
No, he hasn't won one? Yeah, okay. He's in.
I don't think he has. If he has, then disregard Hillel's name on that list and we'll just do 3. I'll quickly check if he has or not.
What a fantastic race, though, here tonight at Raid America. I hope you get your American on, and hope you've all had a great night tonight here. It's definitely been one race to remember, as we talked about before, being an outstander with our 5th winner in this series, and the series is closing down sort of heading towards being another fantastic series. What's going to happen next? Are we going to get another winner? Are we going to get a 6th winner in this series to take records, just sky high? Or are we going to see our first, second winner? The points up the top end of the table are going to be, closing up, and might even just have a brief look at that shortly too, Hamish.
We can talk through them. So just to confirm, Halil has not won Driver of the Day this season, so he can be nominated.
Okay, Halil's in.
The nominations are Brenton O'Brien, Simon Heddersheet, Lorne Mackay, Halil Cesar. They're the only names we want to see. 1 vote per person in the chat. Thank you. Out of those 4 names, if you could please get them in by the time we're nearly done talking to the green room, that'd be good, because Brenton is in there to have a chat to us. So, that'd be much appreciated. We'll have a quick chat, though, first of all, to Rob Crisdale of Frog Leap Juice Racing here this evening. Rob, welcome. Congratulations. P2 on the road, another solid performance. After a drop round's now been included, you are now 3rd place in the championship this season. Yet to take that first race win of the season. Didn't get it here tonight. You were very close. You were very close last week at Portland. Do you think Hockenheim could be the one for you next week?
Look, I was just saying to Brenton and the thing, I'm not exactly wired to be the win it and bend it type, so I'm very, very much trying to be consistent points. if I get the win, absolutely. But this race showed. I mean, look, strategy was probably going to be there, but things happened in this race with obviously getting door to door with Bush, but that certainly was the killer. But I've definitely, given I've had a bad round already, I've just got to take the points and just keep focusing to the finish, basically. So.
Do you think now, because this is often our momentum swing point of the season, do you think you've started to get a little bit more momentum behind you now? Obviously, this is a back-to-back podium for you over the last few weeks. Do you think now this can push you on to next week at Hockenheimring, especially if it is a hot round where it's a warmer track surface? Do you think that momentum can help push you forward and maybe just try and get another podium under your belt, continue to get these consistent points and help push you further towards the sort of next chapter of this season?
Yeah, I mean, that's the goal, is just to basically finish top 5 and then top 3, take the top 3 when it presents itself. And then the ultimate top step if it's there. It's Hockenheim's a European track. I've had a few say to me that you prefer the European tracks, wide open tracks, but because I tend to not do so well on the little tight Mickey Mouse ones. So I think I'll go okay. So we'll see how it goes.
It's ironic you say that they're wide and open, where Jerez the week after is one of the tightest European circuits we could offer to you. So it's then you got to question which one is really going to be able to test
rain.
you. Yeah, with the rain as
and
well.
And the rain's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eddie, how do you go on the rain?
Not that good. So.
Oh, no.
That's okay. You get 2 drop rounds for a reason.
I say, well, yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. I thought I was going to go better in the rain when it first came on. The thing, I'll be fine in the rain. But I've struggled. So I've got to do a lot more practice, I guess. And I haven't done a lot of practice in a supercar in the rain. So that's something I'll have to keep an eye on, get some practice in. So, but I'm sure I'll be right.
Well, Rob, it was a hell of an effort for you this week. Having a great season thus far. You're definitely becoming one of our championship contenders and protagonists across this season alongside Brad Doble and Hilal Cesar. We're looking forward to seeing if you can get your first race win in the coming weeks as well, or at least if you can continue this podium run of form you've been having as well. But let us know who helps get you out on track through Frog Leap Juice Racing. Anyone you want to give a shout out to as well, for myself and Brett, congratulations on your P2 here this evening out at Road America.
Well, obviously, thanks to the V8 Vets guys and you guys for the broadcasting. It's definitely helps for making this series known in Australia and around the world. Really, people talk about it from other forums around the world, so that's good. But for our team, Juiced Energy Drinks have been a long time sponsor of Frog Leap. John at Racecraft Simulations, he does a fantastic job, as we know. Südspeed and their gloves that they provide, and Stott Hall. So thank you to all them.
Very good, Rob. Best luck next week out at the Hockenheimring. We look forward to seeing how you go, and hopefully we'll be chatting to you again next week with another podium under your name.
Let's hope so.
All right, mate. Best of luck.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have our race winner here this evening, Brent O'Brien. And I have a sneaky feeling, Brett, that there may have been a post made in the Evolution Racing Team Discord, because all of a sudden we've had an influx of Chad Lewis and Scott Mackay getting into the chat and voting for Brent O'Brien.
Hey. Oh, look, I think that's fantastic, so.
But we'll drag him in now to have a quick chat to us as well. Mr. O'Brien, congratulations on your race win here this evening. Can you confirm or deny if there was a interesting influx of Evolution Racing Team drivers into the chat just to try and get you over the line tonight in the driver of the day vote?
Well, it's good to have strength in numbers with a good bunch of guys in what I regard as a pretty good team. And look, they may or may not have been watching the broadcast over the last 3.5 minutes. So yeah, timing is everything, isn't it? And
it is.
For all those guys who voted for me, yeah, they're quite familiar names, I'm not going to lie.
I'm surprised you didn't get Job Stewart in the chat to just come and push that over the line even further for you as well. But
well, Now, say that's a horrible thing to accuse me of because Job's busy.
Oh, well, I see.
No,
Okay.
no. So we've got within ERT, we've got quite a few chat rooms. One of them's actually a chat room just for the vets drivers. So yeah, look, it may have had some correspondence lately, but that's okay. That's why we're a team.
That's exactly right. But well, Brenton, I mean, obviously, you mentioned to me yesterday the disappointment that you wouldn't be eligible for nomination.
Oh.
But then I spoke to Brett about it prior to the show, and we said, well, to be fair, you have just made history as the first ever fifth different race winner in the first 5 rounds. So we thought we'll give you a pass and we'll pull a Sean Vandermillen and say, look, it was a different circumstance. It was a history-making performance, and then obviously, one that definitely was worth recognising. It does mean now, though, you can stay off my back for the rest of the season because now you're not eligible to be nominated until a wet race occurs, which is Jerez. So that's fine. At least, won't have to worry about that next week. But no, great performance. And I think you prove once again that, you are just one of the best strategists in the whole field of, maybe it's a little bit of luck to, obviously you can strategize so much with numbers, but you never quite know how much fuel the rest of the field's going to put in, so you can never quite guarantee where you're going to end up. But I think
that's right. So, when Reese was saying he's short field, that's not something I can control, but I also don't get worried about what I can't control. I worry about how I think I can get the 26 to the finish line in the quickest manner. And look, I'm not the quickest driver in the world, and I was just saying before to Rob Crisdale that my qualifying lap, because I don't do near enough practice. I do stuff all testing. My qualifying lap was actually my fastest lap of the week. So good timing there. It's a track I really enjoy racing at. Been doing this for a while, but there's times for me where I push hard, and there's absolute times where I think if I could eke out another lap of fuel, which is hard around here to eke out a full lap. But my second stint on the lighter tank was also probably one of the better stints I did. My lap times are competitive, but I was also able to save an extra lap worth of fuel. And that's extra time in the pit stop. It's an extra 3 seconds in this pit stop around here. So, 3 seconds around here. I think I beat P7 by about 2 seconds. Had a bit of a train behind me, so it all adds up.
It really does. Obviously, you know now what it's like to win this season and how to win a showdown as big as this. If you were in the rooms at 3/4 time, what would you be saying to the Port Adelaide boys just to get them around and try and beat Adelaide?
No. As soon as you said the word showdown, I started to sweat, and I reckon we'll move on from that pretty quickly.
I can't talk.
yeah.
I can't talk. Brisbane lost the Q Clash today, so we're in the same boat as each other right now.
You
Brendan,
You didn't just lose. You got absolutely slaughtered.
They were doing a job for TAB, I reckon. But
good job as well.
Yeah, I know. But no, I mean a phenomenal effort from yourself once again. You get the driver of the day next to your name. You also get the race win to boot as well. Some good performances throughout the next few weeks, and maybe somehow a second race win as well. You could find yourself within the hunt, at least for the top 5 of the championship, which you were only just off of last season. I mean, I've mentioned this season that Shane and Halil were the top 2-seater drivers of the Split 2 boys that stayed down after last season. You were the 3rd-seater driver. You were right there with them, so you could definitely with a chance at least for a top 5, and could be seeing you back up in Split 1 next season.
Look, a top 5 would be nice. I wasn't able to race 1. Had an absolute Barry Crocker in race 3 or 4. I don't even know what it was. But like I said, I just don't do enough testing. I normally have commitments on Tuesdays and probably Wednesday nights. And I do something really unusual on Monday nights with some bloke.
Yeah,
I do some commentating.
Quite a weird one on a Monday to give up time
so
for
generally,
racing.
I'm feeling some sort of symmetry in the booth at the moment.
Yeah, look, I say like seriously, I've got a world of excuses. I got a lot more than that, and so if I'm lucky enough to jag a win like I did tonight, hooray for me. But no, let's not get ahead of ourselves and think top 5. And look, I'm lucky enough. I race with a really good bunch of blokes. And like tonight, I had Rob Crisdale behind me, and it's comforting to know you can trust some of the guys. Rob's not going to stick his nose in and do anything silly. But at the same time, in front of me, and I actually said it on Discord just before there was a couple of incidents the last few laps. I actually said there's a couple of blokes up there that I reckon they're going to go banging into each other. I'm every chance of, having a win here, and sure enough, away we go. So, yeah, it comes with experience, doesn't it?
I think so, and I think now any Infinity Broadcasting viewers out there are having an interdimensional reality check, because if they're watching over on that channel and Bretton's here, they'll be asking where's the Porsche Cups, but Brett's here, and they're like, well, of course the supercars are on. So it's quite a crossing of the series we're having right now. But Bretton, congratulations on this race win once again. A massive boost, I think, for your championship, at least, to depending on where you could possibly end up. Hoping to see you do well again next week at Hockenheim. Let us know how get you at Evolution Racing Team out on track. Anyone else you want to give a shout out to as well, for myself and Brett, congratulations on the Driver of the Day award and the race win out at Road America.
Yeah, well, thanks. So obviously our team sponsors Logitech G, MPI. Look, the Logitech been with us for a long, long while now, and they're fantastic sponsors. And they don't just support our vets components. We've got quite a deep team in running in Pro Series and OCR in the Porsche and the F4s as well. So it's great that Logitech are on board with us. And also, like, within our vets little wing in the team, we've got Scotty Gamble, Scotty Mackay, Chad Lewis, Dan Hall, and we've got a little Stephen Soundman Clark jumps in as well. So we're really close in regards, take the P155 out of each other, and we have a good time. Chubby's, I'm lucky enough to say this is Chubby win number 6 now, so we're off to Chubby Burgers. I'm trying to find out where the nearest one is to Victoria. Rob just said there might be one in Albury. If there is, I own a house up in Wangaratta, so I will find myself to Albury Chubby if there is one there. The guys who run the vets, like John Van Ree and all the boys who actually organise vets, it's a big job. I know, I run a series myself. And to you blokes for the broadcast and the commentating. So, yeah, thanks to all.
No worries, Bretton. Thank you so much for joining us once again. Looking forward to seeing how you go next week, and looking forward to seeing the end of the weekend and getting to Monday night and seeing what your team can do in the Porsche Cups on Monday.
Good on you. Thanks, Hamish. Thanks, Brett.
Worries. Thanks, Bretton.
Not a drama.
Well, Brett, history gets made. Records are meant to be broken, and that's now yet another record that we've broken here in Infinity Broadcasting. Previously, we've broken records such as the Round 1 winners never got on to win the championship. That happened back in season 21 with Steve Grumley. We then thought, well, we never beat 6 race wins in a single season. That happened with Logan Barnett in season 22 with 7 race wins. And at this point of the season, Brett, we cannot beat that record now. We cannot possibly get to an 8-round winner this season now that we have 5 different race winners. It's 3 seasons in a row that we've broken a record that has stood the test of time over the last 13 or 14 seasons. And it makes me wonder, what record are we going to break next season? Because if we're continuing this run of form, does it mean that maybe the record next season is that we have the Split 3 promoted champion goes back-to-back and wins Split 2 in season 25? Maybe that's the record that gets broken.
Who knows what's going to happen, Hamish? I mean, I think the thing is that we've already started to set the concrete on what's happened this season, and it is building big time. Where are we at with the championship top 5 at the moment?
So at the moment, with one drop round included, they've listed Brad Doble P1, but that's because it's alphabetical order. Technically, Brad and Halil are equal on points on 706 points apiece.
Nice.
Now, we then have to decide, well, who do we keep the orange? Do we keep it on Halil or do you give it to Brad? The fairest way is we either give it to both of them or we leave it on Halil because he has 1 more bonus point than what Brad does.
Yeah, I mean, how would a countback work? I mean, I'm assuming that would be, it
would be based on positions where they finish. So I think the fairest way for next week is we're going to let them share the orange number. They'll both have it on the tower. And then whoever finishes on top next week, obviously, would probably change, whoever has it the week after. Rob Crisdale, so they're both on 706 points after one drop round. Rob Crisdale in P3 on 679 points. Now, he currently has a 14-point penalty. If he didn't have that, he actually would be on 693 points. So he would have only been 13 points back, and that there is it's a sad sight for him. But it's only 27 points that he's behind them that can easily be gained when he drops another round and he continues these strong performances. At this stage, for those top three, so the only drivers who have finished inside the top 5 more than 2 times this season. Brad and Halil have finished in the top 5 4 times. Halil's finished inside the top 10 5 times. Crisdale's finished inside the top 5 3 times. Brad and Rob have finished inside the top 10 4 times this season. So every race that has been counted for Brad Doble has been a top 5 finish. Same for Halil Cesar. They both have a race win. Every race that's been counted for Rob Crisdale has been a top 4 finish. Top 10 finish. The same goes for Mick Clifton in P5. He's on 665 points. He's done 1 lap less than those top 3, but every race that's counted for him has been a top 10 finish. Shane Randall, P5. He's got 3 top 10s. He's on 657 points. Darren Crosby, P6. Simon Haynes, Brenton O'Brien, Chad Weiger, and Reece DeGoey in P10 at this stage. The interesting one there, Lorne Mackay gained 10 positions after he's finished here this evening. So he's on the rise up again. Watch him over the next few weeks. He could sneak his way into that top 5 come season's end. I think at this stage, though, it is a 3-horse race, Brett. It is Brad Doble, Halil Cesar, Rob Crisdale. Unless Mick Clifton or Shane Randall or Darren Crosby win a race, I think it's those 3 we're going to see at the end of the season battling it out for the championship.
I can't wait for the next few races to come up, because I'll tell you what, it's been exciting so far in this season, and it's just going to continue to do so as we close out this series of season 24. I'm excited, Hamish.
I am as well. Hockenheim Ring next week, going to be a good test for these drivers, 150 Ks. Apparently it's going to be a hot track, so variable weather conditions, that could change things up. That could give us a 6th race winner. And I think, as we often say, variable weather conditions, that means the race winner could possibly be nominated unless they're a previous winner of the award as well. Sean Cullen saying, where do the bookies sit on Cullen winning the next 5 races? I think that's about 161 to 1, Brett. Personally, just
Not entering into that.
to win the next 5 races, all 5 for Sean Cullen to all of a sudden win all 5 races. That would be spectacular.
It would be spectacular. I'd love to see it.
But that would be like me saying,
I don't think the bookies would touch it, though.
I don't think they would. I don't. They wouldn't even pay out for you. You try and cash out after he wins 3, and they'd be like, "Nah, we've closed cash out."
Yeah.
So, but no, I think Sean had a relatively good race tonight. And I
He
think
had a great race tonight.
and
I'm happy to see him have a half a decent race.
And I think next week, if he can just keep himself clean and consistent, continue on this run, could definitely continue to rise up the rankings this season as well. So we're looking forward to seeing how that works out for Sean Cullen and the rest of the field as well. But the Hockenheim Ring next week, we head over to Bavaria for our next round of the season. I believe it's been changed to 200 Ks actually, Brett. I think they did because of Road Atlanta when it was previously 150.
Oh, okay, yep.
I think they changed it. They haven't changed it on the calendar graphic, but I think they made a supplementary regulation stating that next week was going to be 200 Ks.
We'll make sure you look at the supregs and
check
the information on
the
that.
supregs, just so don't trust our word. Check the supregs. I'm only going off something that I thought I read. I can't even find it now. So, watch out for that. But I've been Hamish Munro with Brett Fisher alongside. Appreciate everybody's time being here with us again tonight. If you have watched along and you're new here, well, if you're watching on the Infinity Broadcasting channel, hit the like button, the subscribe, the bell icon as well. Next up on the docket for you guys over on that channel, Monday night, the VRS Virtual Racing School Porsche Cup Series by way of the iRacing World Challenge. Myself and Brenton O'Brien, tonight's race winner, in the booth for that one. We go racing out at Okayama for round 7 of Season 2. So if you want to get a bit of a preview, Veterans fans, of what Okayama is going to bring at the end of the season for the supercars, you can come watch some Porsche Cup racing with the likes of, name I mentioned earlier, Job Stewart, Super 2 driver, racing in that series. Hopefully he'll be back for Monday's race as well. And then for the V8 Veterans channel, be sure to hit the like button, the subscribe, the bell icon too, so you're notified whenever we go racing here with the Racecraft Simulations V8 Vets action of Split 4 on Friday nights, 9 PM Australian Eastern Standard Time. Split 3 action, 6:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, 8:30 p.m. New Zealand Standard Time for Split 3 by the way of AJR Broadcasting. Fridays is WKMP TV. And then 8:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time Saturday nights by way of Infinity Broadcasting. We're bringing the Split 2 action as well. If you want to support the Split 1 action, go subscribe to the Simspeed TV channel as well, so you're notified whenever they go racing live. 8:30 p.m. Thursday night Australian Eastern Standard Time. They do the races live. They are there for the Split 1 race, so you can watch it as it happens. Last week they had David Haynes and Connor Nixon in the booth, I believe with Dan Yeaman doing the production over on that side of things. But I'm at Hamish Munro with Brett Fisher once again. We'll see you guys next week for the Hockenheim Ring. But until then, stay safe, drive hard, and as always, bye for now.
Can't wait to hear those engines roar. Hot days and summer nights, finish line in the sights. Can't wait to hear those engines roar. There'll be sparks flying, rubber burning, doors banging, temperatures rising. Can't wait to hear those engines roar. There'll be hot days and summer nights, finish line in the sights. Can't wait to hear those engines roar. There'll be sparks flying, rubber burning, doors banging, temperatures rising. Can't wait to hear those engines roar. They're gonna roll. Ooh, they're gonna roll.
The Racing Series is a new milestone in Logitech G.
All the great old wheels, the G29, the G920, the G923, they all have their own unique way of connecting to each other, but there's no room for expansion with those products.
So the question arose was, what if we were to give the opportunity for the racer to switch out from a drifting wheel to a GT rim?
With the wheel hubs that we've created, that's got a very specific button set, but you can replace any of the steering wheels.
And the real lovely aspect to this was we could give the user, driver and the racer the opportunity to experience different genres of race.
That allows drivers to craft high quality, customized setups that resonate with your individual racing style.
When we start with the design, we always start sketching. Very often, once we've got sketches, we start discussing with engineering.
We had 3 rounds of engineering testing or user testing where we invited in users from sim racing, and every single round of feedback we refine, the product based on what they tell us.
In the sim racing lab, again, we're going to use data to really analyze what a driver needs. We've used everything from eye tracking to the inputs from the pedals, the inputs from the, let's just say, input devices, the wheel and the pedals, the shifter. We're taking that and we're compiling it so that we can build different products based on those individuals' needs for all consumers and all drivers.
I don't know of anyone else in the industry that's actually doing this kind of research into their products to see how their products are affecting performance of their users.
We've built the product to make sure that it's as reliable as possible.
So the innovations in engineering that I'd say we're most proud of is the sequential handbrake and shifter toolless changeover. This is now a patented system, so it's really easy for the user to just switch between modes.
If you give people the tools to do what they want, they will.
They will just go off and have fun.
Introducing the Racecraft PT1, custom-built full chassis racing simulator. The design project, codenamed The Cage, an 80/40 extrusion chassis sitting on top of a Sigma Integrale DK2 Plus 4-point full motion actuator system. No compromises in the cockpit of the PT1 simulator. To maximize the experience, we start with the 49-inch ultra-wide monitor for the greatest field of view in a small footprint of the simulator, down to the SimuCube wheelbase that's tucked up and behind the monitors with SimCore extensions to get things out of the driving area. Everything is connected to a Cube Controls GTX steering wheel with the built-in dash and all the extra button functions available at your fingertips. Driving through the Raceworks S1 pedals, the potentiometer throttle and the 2 hydraulic pedals for brake and clutch ensures you maximize the feel underfoot, and seating yourself into an OMP HTER bucket racing seat with OMP belts connected to a G belt tensioner to provide that extra feeling and the heightened experience while you're driving. Additional interfaces and accessories in the PT1, we have twin butt kickers, one on either side of the OMP seat, as well as a Jinx sequential shifter, the SimPush Race Logic timer to the left-hand side, a Racecraft built-in WinSim kit with Philips Hue lighting and a built-in soundbar, plus the OMP side net to finish off the experience in the PT1. The Racecraft PT1, build number 1, the ultimate in sim racing experience, combining the best products in the market with the passionate, no compromise approach that goes beyond racing simulation.